Tonight, these four people need to compete for the prizes of a lifetime on The Price is Right, presented by new Striped toothpaste with germ-killing hexachlorophene for the double protection of toothpaste plus mouthwash. And now your host on The Price is Right, and here he is, Bill Collins.
Hello, thank you. Good morning. Hi, thank you. Absolutely right. Hello there. Thank you, and welcome to The Price is Right. For those of you who are watching the show tonight in color, we're on in color and black and white. I just want to square you away so you can tune your set. This is a light shade of green here. Tonight we're going to introduce a brand new sweepstakes, chance for you to come to New York, be a contestant, and also win a big prize, okay? Enough of that. Let's go over here and meet the bargain hunters. Here's our champion from last week, Mr. Albert Antelli, a hairdresser from Rochester, New York. This is his second week. He won last week with a total of $19,830. Welcome back. Is your beauty shop open on Wednesday night, and if so, did they watch?
Yes, Bill, but we decided to close this Wednesday night because the excitement's going on back home, and we decided to stay closed so the girl could watch it. And
let them go home and watch.
That's right.
We don't come in too plain on those dryers anyway, do we?
All right. We'll stay out of the dry anyway. We have no chance to come over here.
Mrs. Dorothy Strashinsky, a saleswoman from Modesto, California. What do you sell, Dorothy?
We sell an industrial cleaner, and I guess it doesn't say there, but I'm a traveling salesman.
You're a traveling saleswoman?
Yes, we travel all over California, Northern California, and Nevada.
I don't think I've ever seen a traveling saleswoman, and I'm glad I see you. Yes, very. Any joke? No, let's...
Not about the women.
Here's Mr. Charles Hamp, an engineer and sweepstake winner from Philadelphia,
yes,
Pennsylvania. Hi, Charlie. Were you watching last week when they drew your name?
Yeah, Bill, I was listening. I couldn't watch it. I lost my picture. And did everything but put my foot to the television.
You mean you could hear it?
I could hear it, but I couldn't see a thing.
And the picture, part of the set went out?
Well, just the picture, that was all. I had to sit and listen.
I have been asked to make this announcement. That was not an RCA set. Was it? No, don't tell me. Here's Mrs. Betty Crowley, a housewife from Seattle, Washington. Here on a vacation, Betty?
No, I'm not, Bill. My husband has been temporarily transferred here, and we don't know exactly how long we're going to be here.
I see.
We expect a baby about the 4th of July, but we don't know where it's going to be born.
Well, bombs bursting in air. Before we start the game, I'd like to give each of you a wonderful gift from Lever Brothers, a full year's supply of Dove, and there's Junie Ferguson with it right there. That's for all of you, even if you don't do one thing right the rest of the night. Now, everyone ready to start the bidding? Here comes the first item. This time, we direct, if we may, your attention all the way over there to the far left. And here's our first item going up for bids on The Price is Right. A station wagon. The beautiful 1961 Chevrolet Brookwood. A four-door, nine-passenger design with standard six-cylinder engine and white sidewall tires. It's equipped with Power Glide transmission, manual radio and antenna, deluxe heater and defroster, and antifreeze. The upholstery is washable pattern vinyl. The second and third seats fold flush with the floor. It has up to 97.5 cubic feet of cargo space, plus additional storage space under the rear platform, and the rear window is electrically operated. This dashing nine-passenger Chevrolet station wagon will be yours if the price is right. Price Authority, Chevrolet Motor Division, General Motors Corporation, Detroit, Michigan.
It does it, Don. May I remind you before we start the bidding that you're bidding for the Chevrolet station wagon at its FOB delivered price, Flint, Michigan. So don't count the delivery charges in. We start as usual with our champion, Mr. Antelli. That's yours. Minimum will be $100. You may go higher if you'd like. Or first bid, you may go lower. It makes no difference.
$300, Bill.
$300 to Mrs. Strashinsky.
Oh, Bill, I could haul so much cleaner in that station wagon.
sure
It would be
could.
pitiful. 500, please.
Very good around Modesto.
6, Bill.
Our sweepstakes winner, Mr. Hamp, says 600, Mrs. Crowley.
I say 8, please.
800 it is, so the range is $300 to $800, and we're back to Mr. Antelli, who started.
$1,000.
Even 1,000, Mrs. Strashinsky.
1,100.
1,100, Mr. Hamp.
12.
Mrs. Crowley?
I'll say 15, Bill.
So we go from 1,000 to 15. Back to you, sir.
16.
16. Mrs. Brzezinski.
18.
Mr. Hamp?
19.
Mrs. Crowley.
23, Bill.
Back to you, Mr. Antelli. You're 16.
24.
Mrs. Brzezinski, you're 18.
Oh, Bill.
My sentiments exactly.
23?
24.
$2,700.
27, Mr. Hamp from Philadelphia.
28.
Mrs. Crowley?
I freeze, Bill.
1 out, 3 left. Okay. Mr. Antelli, you're 24, tops 28.
What was the highest, Bill?
28.
28. The minimum is 100. 29.
29. Okay, Ms. Brzezinski, you're 27, top is 29.
32.50.
32.50.
32.50.
There's your dilemma now, Mr. Hamp.
33.50.
You're going up 33.50. Mr. Antelli, you're 29, top is 33.50.
I praise, Bill.
2 out, 2 left. Ms. Brzezinski, this is your last bid. You were 32.50, top is 33.50. This is the last chance you get.
I'll freeze.
It's over. That ends the bidding because naturally Mr. Hamp is going no higher. Okay. Here are the bids from left to right. $2,900, $3,250, $3,350 is a high, and $2,300 is a low. Mrs. Crowley dropped out back there some distance. There is your Chevrolet Brookwood station wagon, and in the envelope I have the actual retail price, which I shall extract. The actual retail price, $3,124.55. Mr. Antelli, we stopped at 29. It is yours. Hey, that's a good job.
Very good. Thank you.
You are welcome.
I can use that. Bring all the lady home with a station wagon.
Very few beauty establishments offer that. Our bids are instantaneously recorded on our tote machines, furnished by the American Totalizator Company, a division of Universal Control Incorporated. Now, we'll have another terrific prize in a moment, but now a message from the taste-tested margarine, New Imperial.
Mr. Short, this is a taste test for Imperial. One of these crackers has Imperial on it, the other the 70-cent spread. We wonder, would you try them both, please, and see if you could tell it which is the Imperial? Thank you. Daddy is eating.
Between meals.
Between meals. What would Mommy say about that?
No, it would just be a guess. I couldn't tell.
You can't tell the difference. Let's just see, if you don't mind, if there was a difference. That was Imperial, right? And that...
how about that?
That was the 70-cent spread. Please, don't feel badly, Mr. Short. You know something? Most people can't tell the difference.
I feel better.
There is a difference. Imperial gives you the sweeter, natural taste of the 70-cent spread. The big difference is in price. So why pay more? Would you like a cracker, too? No. All right.
So in case you tuned in late, Mr. Antelli is starting in right where we left off last week, and that's with winning everything in sight, so everybody get busy. This one is going to be on the turntable, and I know it's one you're going to enjoy. I do, too. Watch it carefully. Don, tell us all about our next item going up for bids on The Price is Right.
An entertainment unit. A custom design in a 10-foot Oriental-inspired cabinet of hand-rubbed black lacquer finish with hand-carved inserts. It contains a mirrored serving bar with sliding Formica tray. In the center, an Admiral black and white television set with new big 23-inch screen. And in the right-hand compartment, high-fidelity equipment, including a 4-speed turntable, stereo receiver, preamplifiers, and 44-watt stereo amplifier, plus an AM/FM stereo tuner, and 2 12-inch full-range speakers. Price authority, Dantamuro Furniture Incorporated, Lynbrook, New York. Bill Cullen.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. By the way, Bob, I don't know if you can go in and get a shot here. This is very important for those of you who watch television from time to time. See these two people I have here with me? This is a, here, I'll turn around that way. That's Goodson and Todman. I just want you to know, you see their names so often and you wonder how they really look. We're going to start, and who'll be here next week? Mr. Brzezinski, we start with you. Minimums are once again $100, right, Mark? Right, okay. $100 minimums. Okay, Bill? Yes.
Oh, Bill, that's so beautiful. I'll start with 300.
$300 to Mr. Hamp. He won our sweepstakes last week.
What is the minimum, Bill?
$100.
400, Bill.
400, Mrs. Crowley.
That's just beautiful, Bill.
It is pretty. I like
and
that.
I'll say 700, please.
We're up to 7 already, Mr. Antelli, and you haven't even...
800.
800. Mrs. Strashinsky, you were 300. Top is $800.
1,000, please.
1,000. She ups it too. How about you, Mr. Hamp?
1,100, Bill.
1,100, Miss Crowley.
I'll say 1,200.
1,200, and we're back to Mr. Antelli, who's at
1,300.
$1,300, Mr. Strashinsky. You're 1,000.
14, Bill.
14, Mr. Hamp. You're 11.
What kind of speakers does that have on it, Bill? Could you tell me?
I beg your pardon?
Speakers?
How many speakers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2.
So what are they? Did they give any description of the speakers?
2 12-inch speakers, yeah.
What was the last bid?
1,400.
15.
Okay. Miss Crowley, you're 12 tops, 15.
I'll say 2,000, Bill.
Opposite to 2,000, Mr. Antelli. Final bid for you. It's your last shot. You're 13, tops 2.
2,100, Bill.
The top bid is now 21. Mrs. Strashinsky, you're 14, and this is your last bid.
I'd like to freeze.
Mr. Hamp, you're 15, top 21, your last bid.
2650.
Mrs. Crowley, you're an even 2,000, and yours is the final bid in the game if you think.
I'll freeze, Bill.
It's over, all right? That takes care of it. Well, here are the bids: 2,100 first, then a low of 1,400, a high for Mr. Hamp of 2,650. Mrs. Crowley is at 2,000. And here's your entertainment unit by Dana Murrell, and in here is the actual retail price. Okay, actual retail price is $2,795, Mr. Hamp. You did it. Oh, that's real good. Congratulations, Mr. Hamp. You're doing real well on the bidding there, and congratulations. Oh, you have a bonus. You have a bonus, Mr. Hamp. To take back to Philadelphia to go with your hi-fi, try this bonus. Look behind you, record. There is a magnificent collection of 200 RCA Victor stereo albums featuring the brand new release of a Mario Lanza program, the only live recording of a Lanza concert. And you know what, Mr. Hamp, I'll tell you what, while you're listening to the records, why don't you curl up with a book? And when I say a book, I mean one that has been more talked about than any book in the past decade that I can think of. It is The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich by William L. Shirer, published by Simon & Schuster. It, of course, is the recipient of the Carey Thomas Award for the Outstanding Publishing Achievement of the Year. Now, this is your first book. Listen carefully. For the rest of your bonus, you are going to receive a copy of every hardcover book published by Simon & Schuster for the next 3 years. Congratulations. Now, if you're ready at home, why don't you get set, because here it comes. Tonight, we're introducing a brand new Price is Right sweepstakes. All it takes is your estimate of the price of one item, that's all. And you can send in all the postcards you like. If you're the winner, not only do you win the fabulous prize, but we'll bring you to New York, and you'll appear as a contestant on the program. So now take a good look and listen carefully.
What's your bid for this 1961 sports car? The sleek Chevrolet Corvette convertible. It's equipped with standard 230 horsepower V8 engine and standard 3-speed synchro-mesh transmission. It's designed with wide doors opening into a cockpit-type interior with bucket seats and deep pile carpeting. Plus, the following optionals: signal-seeking radio and antenna, deluxe heater and defroster, antifreeze, white wall tires, and in addition to the soft folding top, it has an auxiliary hard top. This dashing Chevrolet Corvette convertible will be yours if you win the sports sweepstakes.
Okay, everybody ready for another one? This time, again, watch the draperies to your immediate left and a little bit behind. Don, tell us all about our next one going up for bids.
A tugboat. Yes, the Little Toot, a modern pleasure boat with a styling of the old steam tugboats, newly designed by Bob Rich. The traditional cabin and round stern is faithfully reproduced. The entire tugboat is sturdily constructed to standard small boat specifications on an oak keel. It is planked with native cedar, has bronze fastenings, and is powered by a 32-horsepower inboard marine engine. This smart tugboat is 18 feet long, has a 7-foot beam, and weighs 2,500 pounds. Price authority, Bass Harbor Boat Shop, Bernard, Maine.
Thank you, Don. Tony and June, there ain't no crews like you in the harbor, I'll tell you. That is a very unique, the only person I know who owns anything like this is Gary Moore, who has one very much like it. And it certainly is a conversation piece. We start with Mr. Hamp. Mr. Hamp, we ask for an opening of at least 1,000. You may, of course, open higher if you'd like.
1,000, Bill.
Mrs. Crowley, minimums are now 100.
1,500, please, Bill.
She upped at 500, Mr. Antelli, so you...
2,000, yeah.
How much you say?
2,000.
2,000, Mrs. Krashinsky.
2,200.
Now, Mr. Hamp, you started at 1,000, and since it left you, it's gone up to 22.
The minimum, Bill?
100.
2,400, Bill.
24, Mrs. Crowley, you're 15.
29, Bill.
29, Mr. Antelli, you're an even 2. Make up your own mind.
3,000, even.
3,000, Mrs. Krashinsky.
I would like to bid 3,300.
Mr. Hamp.
Freeze, Bill.
One freeze. 3 left. Miss Crowley, you're 29, tops 33.
What is the top, Bill?
33.
33.
100.
I'll say 37, Bill.
Mr. Antelli, you're $3,000. Top is 3,700, and this begins the last round.
3,900.
As a final. That's
right.
The final bid. 3,900, Miss Krashinsky, you're 33. This is your last.
What's the next highest over me?
37.
And I'm 33.
24. You're 33.
I'll freeze.
Mr. Hamp is already frozen. Mrs. Crowley, you're at 37. Top is 39. This bid ends the game.
What's the top, Bill?
3,900.
I'll say 4,000.
Okay, it's over. There, you're the top bid. Here are the bids. 3,900, 33.24 for a low, and 4,000 for a high for Mrs. Crowley there. Right next to you is the tugboat, Bass Harbor tugboat. I'd love to have that for a weekend. Actual. Hey, I'll tell you something. Someone has it right on the nose. Yeah. And when you remember how the bidding went, you'll realize they were almost forced into having it on the nose. Actual retail price, and even $4,000. Mrs. Crowley, it goes to you. There you are. Pass that along to Mrs. Crowley, if you will. And you have a bonus. Well, Mrs. Crowley, before you go to sea on your own tugboat, we want you and your husband to go to sea on this boat for a cruise through the Caribbean. That's where we're sending you. Actually, it's a 13-day round-trip cruise for 2 from New York aboard the luxury liner Santa Rosa or Santa Paula of the Grace Line in an outside double room with private bath on A deck, enjoying deck sports and international cuisine with ports of call at Curacao, Caracas, Aruba, Jamaica, Haiti, and Port Everglades, Florida. Have a happy second honeymoon, and congratulations from the Price is Right. And the nice thing about it is you'll be able to enjoy those marvelous deck sports and other people you meet, too. We'll have another fabulous prize to challenge your bidding skill in just a moment. But first, do you remember the story of the 3 bears? Well, watch this.
Somebody's been using my striped toothpaste. Somebody's been using my stripe.
Somebody's been using my toothpaste.
Everybody's been using my striped toothpaste.
It figures because Stripes for the whole family. Stripe contains the finest cleansing, polishing toothpaste, to which we add a wonderful flavor, plus the famous germ killer, hexachlorophene, used by physicians and dentists. When you see these red stripes, you know you're getting the original hexachlorophene toothpaste, Stripe. Stripes hexachlorophene kills tooth decay germs better than any other toothpaste ingredient. Yes, Stripes hexachlorophene kills tooth decay germs better than any other toothpaste ingredient.
With Stripe, I feel I give my family the double protection of toothpaste plus mouthwash. Protection against decay, protection against bad breath.
Give your family Stripes double protection.
Well, now, Mrs. Strashinsky, have you won?
No, I haven't.
Everybody else has. All right, as usual in a case like this, we wish you a special amount of good luck because this is your chance. Do all of you notice June Ferguson standing over there to your immediate left? Watch her very closely because she's tricky. And here's our... And there you are. Well, I guess it was Goodson because we showed his statue on the air. Here's our final item going up for bids on The Price is Right.
A 5-carat diamond ring. A fabulous heart-shaped solitaire executed by Johnston Jewels Limited of the Waldorf Astoria. And now we'll give you a chance to examine it closely. The exquisite heart-shaped diamond is extremely brilliant, perfectly cut, beautifully faceted, and weighs 5 carats, .12. It is flanked by a tapered baguette diamond on either side, together totaling .45. And all are set into a classic mounting of elegant platinum. This magnificent 5-carat heart-shaped diamond ring will be yours if the price is right. Price Authority, Johnston Jewels Limited, Waldorf Astoria, New York. Bill?
I thank you, Don. Oh, we'll talk about an opening bid in a moment, but for those of you at home and here in the studio who are wondering what that terrible noise was, we're being introduced. Actually, the Untouchables have changed network. No, really, what it was, and it's simple. People in the television and showbiz know it was a light blowing out. It was that simple. And be glad you don't have those kind at home. We're gonna start with number 4. We ask for an opener, Mrs. Crowley, of at least $3,500. You may open higher than that if you'd like.
I'll open $3,500.
All right, $100, Mr. Antelli. They're minimums. You may go
36.
36 to Mrs. Straczynski.
4,000.
Even 4,000, Mr. Hamp.
4-1.
4-1. Miss Crowley, you sound like a stockbroker. Miss Crowley.
45, Bill.
45, Mr. Antelli, you're 36.
46.
46, Mrs. Straczynski, you're 4,000.
I'll keep it in a round figure, 5,000.
Nice round figure. Mr. Hamp, you're 41.
5,500.
Nice round figure. Miss Crowley, you're 45.
6,000, Bill.
And $6,000. Mr. Antelli, you're 46. Top
6,100.
You go to 61. Mrs. Straczynski, there it passes you. You're at 5.
It's mine, I wish.
All right, go to work and earn it.
Oh, 6,500.
Okay, Mr. Hamp, here it comes.
66.
He says 66, and Mrs. Crowley, it's sneaking up on you there.
66.
I'll say 95, Bill.
Wow, 95, Mr. Antelli, your choice.
I please, Bill.
One out. Mrs. Straczynski, you were 65, top is 95.
And he frees?
Yep.
95 is top.
Yes, ma'am.
10,000.
Okay, you go to 10. Mr. Hamp, you're 66, top is $10,000.
I think I better just freeze, Bill.
You're out of it. Mrs. Crowley, you're 95, top's 10. Do you want to go on? Your choice now.
Is this the last bid, Bill?
Nope, not necessarily. We haven't had a buzzer.
I'll say, what was the last bid?
10,000.
10,000 what?
Hold it. The buzzer beats you. This will now be your last bid.
10,000.
Yeah.
500.
$10,500. Mrs. Straczynski, you're an even 10. This is the final bid of the game.
10,600.
It's over, and that's it. The men quit way back there. 10-6 for Mrs. Straczynski. It hasn't been recorded yet, but we'll get it up there. Mrs. Straczynski did 10,600. And that ends the bidding because everyone else is out. So we have 6,100 for a low, 10,006 for a high, 66, and 10,005. Look where the ladies are, way up there, and the fellas are chicken or roosters. Actual retail, oh boy. If you remember the bidding, wait till you hear this. Actual retail price, even round number, $10,000. Mr. Hamp, it's yours. Mrs. Straczynski, you were right on the mark. Pass that over there, and you left it. I'm sorry. Well, that's another one under the bridge. Time for the final accounting. Don Pardo, what are the scores over there?
And I'm all ready for you, Bill. Mr. Antilli has won the car for a total of $3,124. Mrs. Straczynski, we're sorry that you didn't win anything, but we have for you, over to your left, a beautiful 7-piece tea and coffee service in elegant silver plate from the collection of Fifth Avenue, New York. Congratulations to you. Now then, Mr. Hamp has won the ring, the entertainment unit, and the album books for albums and the books for an approximate total of $15,891. And Mrs. Crowley has won the tugboat and the cruise for a total of $5,520. And what news from you, Bill Cullen?
Gee, it's not even close, Don. With $15,891, the winner is the man who won last week's sweepstakes on The Price is Right and was brought here, the brand new champion, Mr. Charles Hamp, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Congratulations, Charles. Thank you, Mr. Antelli. Thank you, Bill. Mrs. Krasinski and Mrs. Crowley, it's a pleasure. And, of course, Mr. Crowley will be back again next week. Mail in your card for the showcase, or sweepstakes. Meantime, thank you and good night from The Price is Right.
The Price is Right has been brought to you by Pure White Dove, the new bath and beauty bar that's better for your skin than the most expensive soap you can buy. Lever Brothers unconditionally guarantees satisfaction or your money back. March is Red Cross Month, and when you give, you help make good things happen all year long. Give generously today. This is the Red Cross Month. The Price is Right is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. This is Don Pardo speaking.
Hi, this is Perry Como. Music, comedy, variety, and guest stars. That's our recipe for tonight's Kraft Music Hall Colorcast. Next on NBC. Then stay tuned for Peter Lind Hayes and Mary Healy as Peter Loves Mary. Tonight over most of these NBC stations.